Just want to first start with a bit of a brief background on Jetfuel and what we do, so you can kind of understand that and how we use Retool here. So our company was founded in 2016 by myself. I'm a kind of a backend engineer and a data scientist at Facebook before this. And our mission is all about empowering creators by building the tools they need. So we are really focused and have started with monetization for these creators. We think of that as kind of the white hot need for a lot of them, is how to make money online, basically. And our initial product is focused on advertising. So we allow these creators to advertise mainly apps. These are a lot of the big apps in the App Store, people like Calm, Glue Mobile, a lot of mobile games, a lot of fitness apps, a lot of different things like that. And our creators are really large content creators on TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat primarily at the moment. We've done over 60 million installs for different advertisers, and we like to think of ourselves as one of the best ways to reach Gen Z. Here's a little bit more of some examples of some of the ads that we run. So on the left here, this is a fitness application that someone's advertising. And these are a list of some of our clients. So we work with TikTok, Voodoo, a lot of the big mobile game companies around the world. Yeah. We started using Retool to shift to that in 2018, and it's really accelerated and kind of changed the direction of the company in a lot of ways. I like to say I'm one of Retool's biggest fans. One of our early investors really loves to harp on, this guy, James Courier at NFX, harp on the fact that as a startup, your only advantage compared to a big company is the speed with which you can move. If you can move 10 times every time a big company moves one, that's the only way you're gonna be able to beat them. You don't have nearly as many resources or people, hiring's harder. There's a lot of things standing in your way, but if you can move really, really quickly, you can hopefully gain an advantage, and that can compound over time. And Retool lets us move really, really, really fast and build things really, really fast, which is why we love it. We've probably got about 25 or more pretty heavily used and complicated different Retool pages that are linked together. It's really how you kind of get anything done at Jetfuel, from customer support. They're in there every single day. We have a creative team that's managing and approving user submitted ads. Our trust and safety team is reviewing content and taking actions on that. And that's really where Retool shines. Yeah, so it really started. Here's an example of our kind of customer support dashboard. You can see there's a lot of information presented and a lot of buttons as well, which are a way for people to take action on that information, enable or disable accounts, send push messages, create campaigns for us. Our advertiser team on the right-hand side here is using pretty complicated kind of create tools. It's really how we get everything done. I do want to walk through a quick example in the customer support and how it relates to data as well, which the new Plotly charts make really, really easy for us. So Dan's our head of customer support, and we'll often get reports from users, our creators, that, hey, our installs aren't counting. And we basically deliver real-time notifications to our creators saying, you just delivered an install for some app that you're promoting. And we'll often get a complaint like this. The easiest way to visualize this is with data, is with a chart. So on our main kind of customer support page, we've very quickly realized the need for some charts. This shows kind of clicks and installs for users over time. This is kind of a simple hourly view. And then where Retool really shines now, with Plotly being as customizable as it is, we can extend these to use a lot of the features that kind of Dimitri talked about, like multi-axis and that type of stuff. But the big value add for us is that this data exists somewhere, and then there's usually a follow-up question to data. And that question often involves some sort of action, taking action on the data, or taking another action using an endpoint to send a message to a user. So in this case, one thing we can do is enable and disable links. And that may be something based off viewing these charts that we want to do. And the great thing is it can live right next to where that data is in Retool. Whereas all your BI tools, it's not going to live right there. You're not able to really take action where you're viewing the data generally. So here's an example. We could initiate this is an in-app intercom message that we are able to send right from Retool that lives right next to that data. And then on the right-hand side here, this is a way to enable or disable links for that specific creator. And as we built out Retool, I mentioned probably 25 of these. I feel like I built most of them very, very quickly. As you're building something, you realize the need for a data analytics component. It just would be great. As Jane mentioned, it's a much easier way to visualize information in general. And you'll often just realized the need to do that. Pretty much every single function and every single retool we built has added a data component to it over time. And I really think of another example we have that's a little bit uses some of the customizability that Dimitri mentioned. Is one big thing for our network is trying to figure out, we have about 3,000 active creators. There's a lot of different posts going up. When one works well, we really like to want to find out about it and amplify it kind of across, let all our other creators know that it's doing really, really well. So to do that, it starts basically as a data problem. And here is something I built recently called the hot campaigns. I probably built this in about half an hour. It was very, very quick. It was similar to Dimitri's example of write a big query, allow this to be customizable or selectable, which is part of the new Plotly features. So this is a list of kind of our top campaigns over the past couple of days. You select a specific campaign, and from that, we have a bunch of information below it, which I've kind of expanded here, that will then highlight for that specific campaign. And this gives us a hourly view on top here of the specific creators that are leading to that campaign success. And you can see how much revenue they've driven by hour. And then you can also select on this chart a specific user. So this blue highlighted field is a specific creator, which will populate the info on the bottom here, which is the specific creative or media that they've submitted to us and its status. And often what makes Retool really, really special is that you can see on the right-hand side here, we have all these buttons that contribute to taking action on that data. That could be adding it to the app. We have a commission structure for our media. So if you make a really, really good piece of media and other accounts kind of use it to make their own, you will get a commission for that. And that's handled by changing some things in our kind of Postgres database, which are hooked up through these buttons on the kind of right-hand side, which is really where Retool, I think, is unique in that it's one place you can live from kind of an operations standpoint by also showing data and then making it actionable. So we use this pretty extensively at Jetfuel in kind of a whole bunch of different ways. And that putting the data and the actions together is what we've found hugely powerful and just empowering for the whole organization. Our support team now is empowered to, well, really anyone at the company is empowered to go investigate things and then quickly act on them in some way. Send out a push message to recently active creators on that campaign, highlighting that specific piece of media. That's another example of kind of the amplification stuff that we'll do at Jetfuel. So in summary, we love Retool. It really sped up our organization in a lot of different ways. And the addition of the Plotly charts and the customizability with them, it allows a data scientist like myself to be able to build really powerful tools that you can layer in that basically marry data and operations together and allow them to be much more kind of effective than you would with just a BI tool where you're going to look at data and then having to switch interfaces, maybe to intercom to send a customer support message. It allows us to move a lot faster.